Hey y'all, hey, thank you all for tuning in and tapping into the Inner Peace Speak channel or whichever platform that you may hear this on. I am Coach Gant, the Rage Coach. What's going on, everybody? Um, I want to share my testimony of revelation that God has given me to free me from the spirit of addiction that was upon my life. Revelation that freed me from the spirit of addiction. Um, because it's so good, and I like to share my truth for nobody don't have to, because people who add extra, they take away things, they make it what they want it to be, and can't nobody tell your story but you know what I'm saying? But people will try to make an attempt to. So I share my truth so nobody don't have to. And it's also good because it gives God the glory, the honor and the praise. Because God is so merciful and He's so God. Nobody could compare nor be like Him. But I want to share my testimony about that. A revelation that freed me from the spirit of addiction that was upon my life. Man, the enemy is so cunning. But I want to say I started smoking weed back in maybe 2018. I started smoking weed. I had I connected with the guy that I used to date when I was like 19 or something like that. I connected back with him. And of course, he was, smoking and stuff. That was the thing. That's what people in the hood do. They smoke weed or whatever. So I would casually do it with him. And I remember he used to always say, I'm not the same person, I'm not the same person. But me being ignorant, I didn't really know what that meant when he was saying it. I just was like, okay, whatever. But he used to, that's why I say, people don't trick you. You just don't be paying attention. You know what I'm saying? Even for myself, people don't trick you. You just don't pay attention. And that's just what it was for me. But he used to let me know from the beginning, like, I'm not the same person. I'm not the same person. But I met him in 2017. I moved to Georgia in 2017, and he was so persistent about coming out here to Georgia when I lived out here in 2017 that he put his own stuff on a bus and he came out here in 2018. I didn't try to fight it, but I wasn't persistent of trying to get him to come out here neither. So when he came out here, I was staying with a friend at that time, and he couldn't stay there, so we were staying at hotels until I got my place. And when I got my place, he moved in, and then what was just a casual thing with me smoking weed became a daily thing to where it became a part of my routine. And at the point to where I felt like I couldn't not smoke in order to keep him. I felt like I could. I'm sorry. I'm in a public setting, so you might hear music. Hopefully, it's not overpowering. What I'm sharing and saying, and I hope the distractions in the background doesn't. If not, then I'm gonna have to probably record it or do it over. But hopefully not. But what I wanted to share was what started off as casual from just sporadically to daily to then it became a part of my routine to where I felt like I couldn't even function without me smoking because it became so toxic. He became needy, toxic, and clingy. And I'm not even gonna say he became, that was just who he was, but I wasn't aware of that. Because he kept on telling me he's not the same person, and it was evident, it was clear, but I wasn't seeing it because I was just blinded. If I could just be honest, I was blinded. So I had got to a point where I couldn't even not smoke in order to have a conversation with him. Um, I needed to smoke to have a conversation with him. It got so bad. So that's how the smoking weed had came into place. Me being spiritually blind, just blinded, period. Me being blinded. and just really thinking people is the same. And rightfully you shouldn't be the same for how you was when you was 19. You was a kid, but I'm not really seeing that at that time. And I'm grown, and I'm still not even seeing that. I'm grown with age, but not mentally. So fast forward to him coming down or whatever, we was staying out. The smoking had increased. 2019, I started to seek out for I started to seek help. My mentor led me to Yeshua, Jesus the Christ. 2020, I was baptized in the church in Georgia. I was baptized, and then my journey began. I was still smoking while me, on my search to find Jesus, God, to, change my life. I was still smoking in the time because I was still with the God. Because I couldn't even function without him, meaning just like, in order for me to have peace in my home, I needed to smoke. Because other than that, it would just be attitudes, it would just be chaos. And I didn't want that because my daughter was around. So I didn't want that type of energy and stuff around. Even though she was a teenager, older teenager, I still always wanted to protect her. So, I would do that or whatever. But I was functional because I would still go to work. I was still focus on my business. I was still creating. I was still, writing my book. I was still doing everything that I needed to do, even got my business established and everything. So I didn't really see anything wrong with it in that moment and at that time because I was still doing the things that I needed to do. But the only thing I felt, now that I look back over, I was so sick a lot. Like, I was in hospitals. They couldn't find no diagnosis. And later on down the years, God revealed to me that his baby mother was doing witchcraft on me, and a few relatives of mine was doing witchcraft on me. And I didn't know that or whatever because I didn't know anything about witchcraft. My hair was falling out. I was in the hospital. I was sick. It wasn't even traced of what was in it. I stayed in the hospital for 3 days. I didn't know what was going on. It was just, they didn't find anything to like relate to why I was in the hospital, why I was sick. It was just a lot. And that's why I give God the glory, honor, and praise. And I give him thanks. And because it was nothing but his grace and mercy that have kept me. Because what the things that could have killed, that would have killed somebody else, I'm still here today. I get to live to tell my story. That's why I'm always give it up to God and for him each and every time. Because things that would have killed somebody else, it kept me. So, 2021, we went through we went through eviction, and I got evicted, and that's when I knew it was time. I knew before that it was time for me to leave the situation because I was planning on getting up in the middle of the night one night and just taking me and my daughter and just be out of there. That was my plan. I was really going to do that because I just couldn't take it no more. I really couldn't take it. So I was planning on doing it. But by God's grace, we went through the eviction, and we came to Pennsylvania and stuff like that or whatever. And I came to up here to go stay with my mother, and then being in that toxic environment, dealing with that toxic relationship, I just could not find no way out. So I continued to smoke because it was a coping, not justifying it nor making an excuse about it. I'm just being honest with you guys. I just continued to smoke or whatever because I just couldn't really understand how my life was going. When I came out, now at this point, I'm getting flashbacks. I'm looking over my life now, and I'm really just okay, I am it's not okay. So me staying with my mother's a toxic person, so I'm staying with her. I'm trying to cope. Then I had abruptly had to move to Houston and stay with my friend. And so everywhere I'm going around, it's around me. So I'm continuing to do it, and my situation is not the best. I feel like I'm trapped, so I'm continuing to keep smoking. But at the same token, God is still showing me grace. He's still showing me mercy. He's still speaking to me in that time. I'm still talking to him. I'm, repenting for it. I'm still feeding my spirit. I'm still reading the word. I'm still doing the things, but I couldn't get out of the situation. And I'm like, oh God, Lord, what is really going on? I just started to feel like what I was doing, it was for nothing or whatever, because I just couldn't get myself out of it. At least that's just what I felt in that time. And then what happened? My daughter called me. She was about to be adopted. I had to come back to Pennsylvania. Then I got an apartment in Pennsylvania. Things started to get better, but at that point, it was just like smoking had became such a habit for me. I started to just continue to do it. And I still didn't get revelation of why I should stop, because I didn't really think that it was bad, if I could just be honest, because I would still do the things I need to do. I would still hear from God. I was still creating. I was still working on my business. I was still doing the things that I needed to do. So I didn't really think it was bad, but I was still be getting sick, and just things wasn't going as the way I wanted it to go. Because, just me knowing now, I was still continuing to open doors. And that was the revelation God revealed to me, that I'm opening doors to the demonic force to be able to attack me. And he has legal right to be able to attack me when I'm opening these doors. So every time that I smoke, I'm opening doors to the demonic entity. And that is the revelation. So once I understood that, okay, me smoking and I'm opening doors, I began to start feel bad about it. Like when I smoke, I started to feel bad about it. I couldn't continue to do it because I started to feel bad about it. Then, my granddaughter is being born. I'm like, I don't want that, because, it would not touch me, but it would attack my granddaughter. My granddaughter was in ICU, not putting her business out there, but it was just different things. And I'm just like, oh no, I gotta stop. But I'm just saying that to say God was so graceful and so merciful, and he still kept me even in my sin. That's why I say God is the greatest and God is good. But until I got that revelation and understood about the open doors and how I'm giving the enemy legal right to be able to attack me, and God still protected me even in that. But I couldn't move forward because God was not allowing me to move forward until I came to the end of myself. And like, okay, I allowed it to go on as long as it did. But now when you go into your new territory, your new place, you're not going to bring that in that environment. And I knew that I wasn't going to do that. So revelation about me opening doors to the demonic entities, the demonic force that was attacking me, is what freed me from the spirit of addiction. So I don't even think about it. I don't even want it, because I know if I do it, if I begin to pick it up and touch it now, the enemy gonna try to get me up out of here, because he's mad because I'm not even opening up no doors. And that's why I'm intentional about not opening up no doors, not doing anything. I remember this one girl said, I thought you was a psychic. I don't even play with nothing with witchcraft. When people come up against me, I don't even speak anything negative on them, because I can't do what other people do. God don't play that with me. He holds me to a different standard. I can't even speak how other people speak. I speak with authority and I speak with boldness, but I don't speak negative on people or anything, because I can't even do that. I can't do anything like that. So she's like, I thought you was a psychic. Okay, so you're trying to be funny, but that's okay. I just vengeance does not belong to me. It belongs to God. I don't even play like that. I fear God. I have a reverence for God. I fear God for real. My only concern is hearing at the end of my life term, my good and faithful servant, job well done. That's my only concern that I wish to hear. I don't care about anything else. If it's not concerning my God, my husband, my daughter, and my granddaughter, I don't care about it. If I could be honest, that's not in a malicious way. That's not shady. It's just really I mind my business. I mind the business that I'm supposed to mind. You understand? Everything else is just like, I love everybody, but to care about what people got going on and what they do, that's between them and God. I pray for people. I pray God will be done for people. I pray for the people that come up against me, because I know God is real. And when you play with God's anointed ones, you putting yourself in a dangerous space to play with God's chosen ones. To play with anything that comes to God, you're putting yourself in a dangerous place. That's why I put the message out the other day: repent quickly. I don't say these things just to say this. I say this because it's not okay. You know what I'm saying? So I just wanted to share that revelation freed me from the spirit of addiction. And addiction runs in my family. Everybody in my family is addicted to something. I can't be, if I'm set apart and I'm different and God chose me to be the curse breaker, I can't do what everybody's doing. I just can't do it. But I was doing it in that time and in that season because I was coping with the things that was going on in my life. This was my first time experiencing things like this. First time dealing with, that was the worst relationship I have ever encountered in my life. The worst. That was my first time ever being homeless. I never experienced that. You know what I'm saying? So I was coping with things. I didn't see my relatives for who they was. I didn't see friends for who they was. The faces that they showed me, I didn't see those things. So, this was the first for me with everything. So it was a really eye-opener. And the enemy has sent that guy from hell, because he knew when I came into Georgia territory, I was on an assignment. But I didn't know it at that time. But it was just solely a distraction. But at Romans 8:28, all things work together for the good of those that love the Lord. All things work together. So although the enemy tried to use it to distract me, blessed be to God, I'm on the right path. You know what I'm saying? So everything that the enemy tried to do, it still made me be great. I get to live to tell my story. You know what I'm saying? I'm free from those things. I'm free from the narcissist. I'm free from my relatives. I'm free from the addiction to weed. I'm free from things. So I bless the Lord. I bless the Lord. So I hope this encourage and help someone to understand and know, God showed grace and mercy through it all. That was my story. You know what I'm saying? That was my story. When it came to the weed, I share my truth so nobody don't have to. I don't let nobody get an opportunity to try to shame me or make me feel bad. I don't hide anything, because everything that I experience is all for the glory of God. You understand? And you got to be down bad in order for God to produce a miracle. You understand? This is all God. Everything that I experience is all God. I would never give an enemy no credit. This is all God. So even though that was meant for the bad, God still get the glory. You hear me? I bless the Lord. He get the glory. So I wanted to share that with you guys. I hope that this encouraged someone to understand. Don't beat yourself up. Even though I was smoking, into me smoking, I'm still repenting. Father, I repent. Father, help me, Father. And now I'm living in prayers that I prayed. Father, just let me get into a place where I could just be at peace. And I'm at peace, and I don't even think about it. That's how I knew it was another confirmation that it was the environments and the people that I was around. And everybody that I was around, I pray for them. I pray God will be done for them. And those people need to stay where they at and really seek the Lord. You understand? It's no judgment. It's just that, everybody got to come to the end of themselves and seek God. I don't think that I'm better. I just want better for my life, for myself, for my daughter, my granddaughter. I'm building and creating a legacy. You understand? I'm breaking a generational curse that's upon this bloodline. And that's what I'm here to do, and that's what I'm going to do unapologetically about it. And I don't care who don't like it. You understand? So, I love you all with the love of Christ. Be blessed. Bye for now.